Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'd like to talk about why I believe Wizard101 is kind of like a toxic relationship, if you will. Now, it is a little bit, wild, drastic to compare a literal video game that I know and love to like a actual toxic relationship and all. But, I've kind of heard this terminology getting thrown around the community, and I honestly kind of feel that way myself sometimes. And yeah, I just like to talk about why players are feeling this way and why I'm feeling this way in this video. So, as you guys may know, right, if you're, somebody who doesn't watch the channel, you might be new, or you're a returning viewer, stuff like that. I'm a pretty big whiz head, right? I've basically completed everything there is to do on the game for every school, made meta pets for PvP, PvE, Decathlon on all 7 schools and all. I got all the raid gear from pretty much all the raids right now as well too. So I'm a pretty big completionist, and I make content on the game. I have for the past nearly about 3 years now. Like I say, like 2 3/4 years. So I like Wiz a lot, right? And it's kind of become apparent to me over time, the more I've, kind of talked to the developers and been active in the community, that the game just simply doesn't really respect your time and all, and it feels that way, certainly, right? For different reasons, those may vary. And then on top of things, the developers, I'm going to try not to flame them or roast them too much in this video, because I know I do that quite a bit. I have a lot of fun doing that, but sometimes I feel like I take it too far. But basically, the devs just have a very hard time with listening to the community. And I mean, there's so many examples of this. Just recently, I was talking to one of the devs. I'm not going to name names because, again, I don't want to like publicly, embarrass them, humiliate them. It's because at the end of the day, they are just trying to do their jobs and all. So, it is what it is. But basically, I was talking to them about the meta and telling them literally about the game and what happens in the game. And they just kept saying I was wrong, essentially, or I was exaggerating and just like downplaying it as if like I didn't know what I'm talking about. And then they went out and said, oh, well, I'm sure I could find a match with somebody not doing that strat. I'm like, dude, you literally won't find a match at high rank with somebody not doing that strat. And it's just really frustrating and all, because like the example I used was like myths right now in the current meta are just doing like PvE, blade stack, trap stack kind of thing. And their argument was, okay, they used to do it, they stopped doing it, and now they're doing it again. Right? And the simple explanation for that was because in the last meta, before they nerfed OTs like fire and like, storm chin, the hots, you could actually use those and be viable, and there was less PvE players in the meta, right? And generally what happens is the more PvE there is in queue, the only way to fight PvE is to PvE back, which is why we're seeing myths PvE back to try and compete with the other PvE in the meta. Because since the OT and the hot nerf within the last patch or the last update or whatnot, it's just not viable, and it's not as beneficial to do as a PvE strat, for example. So that's the whole reasoning behind the meta in the game right now, and I told them that, but they just completely discard it and throw it out the window, even though it's been a thing for 2 years, and the community's been saying it for 2 years. And there's so many examples of this, right? Like, you could literally just take the whole storm, buff storm thing, right? It's like, look how long I've been posting videos about it, look how frequent I have, look how much I stream, the amount I talk to the devs, like one-on-one. You guys obviously don't see that and all. And I also made it to a roundtable, which I was kind of surprised they invited me to, honestly. But I have mad respect for them for doing that. I think it went pretty well, and I think so do they. So that's cool. But yes, point is here, guys. It's just really frustrating to love a game and put so much time into it, right? And then just have the game and its developers just absolutely disrespect you at every angle of it. Whether that's intentional or not, that is certainly how it appears to be, and that's certainly how it feels to be as a player and even as a content creator, because I feel like a lot of the player base forgets that you know, content creators are players at the end of the day, and like we are human, you know. I see a lot of mean stuff out there, you know, on the internet and in the Wiz community. I'm not gonna obviously list any examples here. They just basically say a lot of messed up things because, oh, you're a creator, you must, you know, get that king style bag, you must be a shill. And it's like, dude, I'm literally the realest person in the Wiz community, bro. Like, I don't understand people. It's frustrating. And the feedback I have gotten from you guys, I've corrected that. You know, I'm less negative. I obviously don't really call people snipers anymore. I think the last month I've probably only gotten sniped by the same guy who's been doing it for 2 years, and I've really chilled out, and as a result I've actually found that's led to me actually getting sniped less, which is kind of nice. But yeah, Wiz just feels really toxic because, like I said, the game doesn't feel like it respects your time when you're playing it, and the devs always disrespect the players at every opportunity they get. I get comments all the time like, Liam, why don't you just stop playing the game if you're so mad about it? And I do, guys, right? I play way less. I don't pay for a membership anymore. My girlfriend got me one last time, and my chat got me one last time. They just gifted me it, so I was like, okay. But I've stopped spending money on this game because I just cannot support it in the way it's going in right now until I see some change. And in terms of my time, I don't really give a lot of my time to Wiz anymore either, right? I simply just get on to make content, and then I get off. And I feel like that's pretty reasonable, you know. There's just not really much to do in Wiz, and I'd rather put my time to more productive things that would also respect my time as a player, or just, you know, better usage of my time in general. And honestly, lately I've been kind of feeling burnt out, and I remember last year people were like, oh, you're just burned out, Liam, but like that wasn't burnout. It's just like things were just so annoying last year. Like, remember last year when you had like set resist with pins and like, oh my god, it was horrible, and the wards and all, like, dude, that was just a horrible and miserable time to be alive. And things are nowhere near as bad as they were last year. It's really frustrating, don't get me wrong, but that was a whole new level of tilt, right? So that wasn't really burnout. But right now I just feel like I'm burnt out, and it's just because, like I said, Wiz doesn't update its game too fast, and they don't listen. So it's just like, well, I don't want to be a part of something that doesn't really care about me as a paying member, or as a content creator, or as a player, you know. Why am I putting my time into this game if it, you know, is one-sided, right? It clearly doesn't respect me as a player, creator, or, you know, paying member. So what am I doing by playing this game? And I do hope Wiz gets better over time. I'm gonna still try and make content as much as I can. You guys probably have noticed I've streamed less over the past couple of weeks, and I'm really trying to stay on top of the videos. It's just really hard for me to come up with ideas right now. Some days I just feel like I have writer blocks, and some days it's like it's hard to get on here and just make content and cover the game. And quite frankly, I feel like that's the only thing I have left, is like making my content. Like, that's the only reason I'm making or playing Wiz. And I know you guys hear this all the time from me and some other creators. It's like, if you weren't a content creator, you wouldn't be playing Wiz. And I know a lot of other content creators feel this way in the community, and I know they won't speak out about it because, you know, they'll be like, oh, you're being negative, but I don't really care. I keep it real on this channel, like you guys know. So that's how it is. But yeah, man, I feel like Wiz is just kind of like a toxic relationship, and that's why, because, you know, it's just like you want to go back to how things were, and you really, really wish that things would get better, but then things just don't get better ever. And I don't know. I thought this would be an interesting video to make and all. And I know somebody's probably like, oh, Liam, you seem so emo and depressed in this video. Are you like unhappy or something? And I'm like, no, I'm actually doing really, really well, guys. Like, I'm very, very happy. Val and I are doing great and all. I'm making better choices IRL too, I would say. And I'm a lot more focused, or sorry, hyper focused on my future and just like improving my life now that I obviously do not play Wiz. You know, as cringy as this might sound, it's kind of nice to have another reason to do things, you know, via like Val and stuff like that. So it's pretty nice. Anyways, that's pretty cringe. Sorry, that probably hurt your guys' ears. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling and everything that's going on. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you feel the same or if I'm just crazy as usual. And yeah, leave a like or a sub, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and take care, y'all.